All right, welcome back for the episode of Carnivore Trades. Today is Monday, January 8th, 2024. If you're not done so already, please give the video a thumbs up, like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Come find me on carnivoretrades.com for swing trading alerts, analysis, and live day trading. Anyways, let's get into it today. So, massive 50-point rally, actually over 50 points in the market today. Here you can see the spiders or SPX close at 46.97 last Friday, and gap and go today. Total trend day in place. I talked about this last week. Said there'd likely be a pullback into, well, actually, we'd probably pull back in the first week or so of January, and then we'd get a January effect. And I said we'd likely have a low in by either today or tomorrow. We have it today. Now I wouldn't, I'm not going to say I expected, a 60-point move today. I was talking about in the trading room earlier. I said we had a bull bias this morning, and I pointed out some 47.50 call sellers that hit the tape, and I said, they're not going to get that high today. We're not going up there. We probably need to consolidate a little bit more, and we kind of consolidated there. You can see the Qs consolidating a little bit intraday, but here we are, 47.60. So we've actually exceeded that. So those guys got absolutely run over today. One of the couple of things that gave that away this morning to me was the semiconductors. By the way, I've been telling you guys 165, watch that level, watch 39 on the socks, and those levels have held. So we hit that last week, and nice bounce off that level. But again, semiconductor strength is a giveaway that the market is strong here. Look at the first 30 minutes, boom. And then we just chugged higher all day long. Today, what is rallying? NVIDIA, that's the big winner, up almost 6% right now. And you notice a little theme here, right? First week of the year, triple Q's weak, right? Microsoft, Google, NVIDIA, Amazon, Meta, all pulling back here. Why? Tax selling into the new year. Now, looks like a lot of that is done, and we're seeing those names start to rally here. Take a look at Amazon up 2.6, Meta there up 1.8, Microsoft having a nice day up 1.84. That's a big company. Google up 2.25. Even Apple, again, holding that 200-day moving average. Was really hoping for a dip to 178. That would have been a great buy, but that's up 2.25 here and holding that 200. It also hit the 50% fib last week, but I was rooting for 178, get that 618, didn't quite get there. But you're seeing that big tech kind of take over here. Take a look at the triple Qs on the hourlies, the chart I shared earlier on Twitter. We've been talking about this divergence here. We can throw that on there real quick. Hourly, just seller exhaustion, and we know it's coming, right? We know the rally is coming, but when, and it was today. Take a look though. Yeah, it's picture perfect falling wedge right there, and nice squeeze through that level. This is the reason why I said last week, don't get too bearish. So we'd expected a pullback this week. We had a 700 point move, right? In 8 to 12 weeks, you're going to get a pullback, and we're likely going to get a January effect. There's lots of new money coming to work, right? We had a huge year. You think people are going to step in to buy the dip? Heck yeah, they are. So we're seeing that here. And now what does that set the table for here? Well, if you asked me at 10 o'clock this morning, I would have said we probably go up. You're going to stall out. Let me get an intraday here. There we go. You're going to stall out at 47.30, and then, you can work your way up to 47.50. And then from there, we'll see. Maybe we put in a lower high. Now at this point, it looks like, we've already retraced. Sorry to go back to the intraday. I know I'm flipping around a lot, but we've already retraced past the 618, right, in one day. So if we get past the 7.5, we're going to double top. And at this point, you got to put 4,800 on the docket, and 48.18 ultimately. So that I think all-time highs are definitely on the table. We're above that 20 moving average, and again, this is why I've been reiterating over and over: January effect, January effect, January effect. And here we are. So markets here getting a nice bid up 1.25, and triple Qs here leading the way. When the Qs lead, it's a good sign for the markets. Qs reclaiming the 20 moving average, up 2% of the day. There is 15 minutes left, so not to say we can't inch down. We'd have to inch down by about $1.50. That's probably not going to happen. So again, Qs acting well, semis acting well. All the boxes are checked here. IWM here up 1.75. That did lag a little bit intraday, but it put in a nice pattern. I kind of missed this. I was looking to pick this up but it started to run, everything run. You either had to like buy the gap and go, buy the gap up this morning, or you had to get in on this little consolidation during lunchtime because there was not much of a chance to get in on this rally. And that's kind of how trend days go sometimes. But IWM acting well. Again, testing the 20 here. This could get back up to gap fill here, right around that 200 handle. Let's take a fib here as well, just so we can get some targets going. On the upside, which I'm going to bet that there's a gap or a fib that fits with that gap. Yeah, there's your 50%, right in that range, 618, just above it, around 200, spot 50. So again, we'll look for those areas. But a nice recovery here from the markets after a pretty weak start to the year. Dow here holding trend. This still looks really top heavy. Dow was down a lot more earlier after Boeing, the door flew off the plane while it was still flying. Boeing had a nice bounce off the 50. And then came, wow, look at that. It just came right back in. I didn't see that. Let's see if there's more news. FAA approves inspection method for gas. So it looks like Boeing tried to get a dip buy there, and then Algos came in and smacked that down on that news. So that just hit the wire. You're going to see here the Jets actually acting really well, even though Boeing took a pretty big hit, and obviously Alaska Airlines as well. Alaska Airlines only down 14 cents now. But in any case, those companies dragging the Dow down. Take a look at Goldman and JPM today. JPM was weak all the way back up to the flat line, down just now down just 1/3%. So again, these banks still acting well. A little bit of a red flag that they are trading up as much as they are ahead of earnings. Remember, these guys are all going to report Friday. But right now, financials are strong, semis are strong. Got to respect the market. SMH here we talked about. I mean, picture perfect. I've been giving you guys this level here. So this is a freebie, 165. And that's a nice pop. Let's see what that would have been on SOXL. There's a 4-point move on SOXL right there that you guys could have had. IGV up 2.62. So it's holding that little gap window area. Would have preferred it at the gap fill in 50 MA, but it got a bit above that, and there it goes again. We'll look at this. This one's still a little softer right now. I would expect, this might have a little bit of trouble with this particular gap window here at 402. But again, getting a bid here, and as long as the market's strong, everything's going to be strong. DJT's a little bit on the softer side. Again, Boeing bringing that down, but still up 70 basis points on the day. Minor little bear flag look here on the daily, but if you look at, I like to look at the 2-day sometimes to clean it up. Big power bar, 20 MA hit, no real problems here. That's why I said the transports are really okay. I know a lot of people were freaked out because we had that minor breakdown last Tuesday, but there's really nothing terrible here. And again, there's still a ton of support at 15.2 if we got there. And right now, still you have higher lows, but still got to get back above 15.6. Still got to get back above the 20, but right now it's in neutral shape, and nothing really terrible. There, all things considered. All right, let's get over here to interest rates. So rates did come in a little bit on the day. There's my oil chart. Okay, 2-year here, backing off a little bit. Nothing terrible, nothing great. We did close above that red, but you're still below the 20. I think rates are still potentially, I'm kind of neutral here in the short run. I still think they're vulnerable here for one more little downtick. If that happens, guess what's going to happen to the markets? We're going up. But right now, just a little bit of a back off again. You hit this pivot here, and that coincides with this level on the 10-year. Again, we're looking at the 10-year yield. If we start to dip down, this is it. That's all the downside I've got penciled in. Let's take a look at the 30-year. You got that trend line there. Maybe this could be, you could make a case you kissed it here today. If this heads down, this is probably all the downside it's in. I don't know if this puts in a bull pattern or if it goes to retrace here, but either way, I don't see a ton of downside here in yields, but they did back off a little bit today. And again, we'll leave it alone for now. By the way, 210s starting to steepen a little bit. So just be aware of that. 3-month 10-year still really jacked up, but it is coming off the lows. All right, let's flip over here to XHB. So XHB is bright green, as you'd imagine, up 1.7. Again, this is a minor sell signal that we got on this last week. But again, I never got said to get too bearish because this is a very strong sector. And if rates continue to come in, it's going to be good for the home builders. And, the trend is up. So again, we'll leave it at that. This can make new highs, believe it or not. That doesn't mean it has to, but it is still holding up. Eventually, it probably has a pretty steep correction. I don't know when that is, but, it's acting well right now, and I wouldn't advise fighting it. VNQ here up 1 1/3. Still has a decent, this is not a terrible pullback pattern, right? You can make a case. It had kind of that little flag look. You could even draw that, we could even draw that right back in. And let's go to like a 4-hour here. So there you go. Let's duplicate that. And again, we'll draw that right back in. You can make a case that's just a bull flag, right? So no real problems there, pullback pattern. If this punches up, a lot of resistance up at 92, 94. But it's holding up now, so we'll leave it there. XLF here up 60 basis points. You guys all should know where this is going by now. Might even exceed it by a little bit. Again, with earnings, it could be, overshoot. We could get euphoric pop, short covering, that type of thing. But XLF, give that the upside bias to 38.25. KRE, give that the upside bias to 56. KBE, 48.25. Broker dealers, just give it the upside bias, period. Crude here is inching higher here off the lows, so it had a pretty good dump. Actually, day traded this earlier, took basically a break even, small gain on it. I don't know what it wants to do. Does it want to come down tomorrow and test that trend line? I couldn't tell you. I'm neutral on oil, and when I don't see anything that's concrete here, I just say just avoid it until it gives you a signal. Ultimately, I think it's trying to carve out some type of a bottom here on the weekly, but we'll have to see. I don't really have a bias on it one way or another. I mean, outside of day trading and so on and so forth, but yeah, it's been a tough trade here. So I'll say that, but I do have this due to put in a low sometime soon. I just don't know if this is going to come down and spike this low, or if it's just going to firm up and put in a bull pattern and go higher. What was good today was XLE. Actually called this level out in the day trading room as well. We hit that gap. So you're going to see the gap right here, 82.33. That also coincides with my 82 point of control. We've been looking at that for a while. I mean, right there, picture perfect, up move, bullish inside bar, little consolidation pattern that's floating higher. So big move, 70, about 70 cents or so off the lows. Well, not about 50 cents, but let's see if this can inch up into gap fill there. Again, I still don't love these here on the daily yet, but nice dip by, and maybe that's a positive for crude, right? You see the producers doing well. XOP now just down 90 basis points, pretty good there. I'm still rooting for OIH to drop lower. I don't know if it's going to, but if it does, right in this area is where I would look for it. CCJ still acting well. It did close above this pivot high. It closed below 42.50, but trend is up. So again, that's still unchanged for me. And URNM, this pattern is continuing to show strength on the weekly, and I like it. So URNM is acting well, and I think it does want to spike that high at some point here, probably in the not too distant future. Net gas, what a weird chart lately. So it's looking like sellers are kind of losing control of this. You saw that we talked about that test candle a few weeks ago that led to a bull pattern. And this is strange, right? 2 days in a row, we've had massive tails. Nat gas is heavily shorted. That's no secret. And it looks like short's trying to push it down the last 2 sessions. I don't think I can remember a chart like this where you had an up move, then a massive inside test candle that turned into an outside candle up. And then the same exact thing happened today. We gapped higher today in the overnight Globex, tested the same low again, and then rallied all the way back up to green. I don't think I've seen that. If it has, it's been very rare. And so nat gas, it's been an easy short, and it looks like that maybe that's starting to slip here. The weekly looks a lot better. We talked about that tail candle from a few weeks ago. A little capitulation. Look at the volume. Look at the volume there. So nat gas, it's knocking on that door of 3. Next big level is right around here, 320, 325, but definitely shaping up much better. If this can sustain above 3, and this is not bidding up because of contango. This is contango, that's contango. This is organic buying. So definitely looks stronger. Got to get through that 3 handle. Might need to do some backing and filling, but look at sellers trying, hey, we're going to short it at 3, we're going to short it at 3, and dips are being bought. So nat gas looks a lot stronger here. Anyways, dollar index, a little bit of a pause day. It did back off, still inside of this green. Again, my thoughts here is we got to back off of this trend line, and then you can maybe put in a higher low from there. But dollar backing off there, and again, we'll leave it there for now. Nothing is really changed all that much. Gold here was interesting. Take a look at my GLD chart. That is a fake print on the GLD down to 178.28. And it's actually, they erased it on the daily, but it's still on the weekly. That would be about a 5.5% move for gold. It's not on gold futures. So just take that for what it's worth. If that happens, you guys know I'm not bearish yields, I'm bullish yields. And I've been saying that yields may be a problem for precious metals in Q1. If that plays out, you think maybe TNX goes a little bit higher? Certainly possible. So, you know, again, this is kind of a, call it what you want, superstition, whatever. They tend to play out a lot. So again, we'll keep that on radar. That is right to about there. Let's just take a fib here just for fun. So that would take you down right to the 618. So very interesting. Maybe it plays out. But right now, gold holding up okay. Testing the 50 MA, a little pullback there. Silver, a decent dip by this morning after being red earlier, but you can make a case you got a bearish inside bar starting to form. If this continues sideways, it's setting up for a move down. So be aware of that. Platinum backing off a little bit here. That's had a big run. Look at that around 940. And then palladium here. That may want double bottom. Again, very thin here. Look at this. Up in 3 days, you know, 3, 4, 5 days, and then 3, 6, 9, 10 down. So, you know, this is just kind of how palladium is here. But I think the macro low is in for this metal, as you guys know. Copper here bouncing up 50 basis points today, holding the 200. Nothing really to do there, but it's holding up for now. Bitcoin, another star of the day here, new 52-week highs. So we're looking for 48. It does look like I heard chatter that the ETF may be out. The news may be out Wednesday. I don't know how true that is. I don't really care. Honestly, we'll see what kind of reaction that gives us, though. But that inside bar is playing out. That's why I said don't get too excited about these little sells, because the weekly chart is still fine. ETH is still fine, although it is lagging. Doge is a laggard. Polkadot's a laggard. Litecoin's a big laggard. Solana's still acting well, but pulling back. It needed to. Cardano getting a nice bit here. That pulled back. That weekly is still good, though. But we'll see how that ETF shakes out. And if we get a big pump off of that, it may get sold into. So just be aware of that, right? You're not going to just wait like all of a sudden, oh, I'm going to buy Bitcoin now that the news is approved, right? It's not how it works. So we'll see how that does, but it's holding up right now. And 48, maybe 50,000 we'll look at for that. Market set to close right now. There's the bell. We close right at the highs of the day, 47.63. Again, don't get too bearish. So nice move there for the spiders. We talked about putting in a low today or tomorrow. We've got it there. And we'll see what this brings. All-time highs maybe on the tape next. But big move there for the markets. And you know, I said this last week, but a lot of people got bearish. A lot of people were slamming, you know, slam dunking. And I was like, this is just a 4-day pullback. Let's not get too crazy just yet. But markets are holding up now, and we'll take it one day at a time, as always. Anyways, guys, going to wrap it up here. You guys take care. Come find me on carnivoretrades.com. I'll talk to you guys all tomorrow.